All right, what's up, guys? JS Garrett here. And before I even get started, if you have not already liked and subscribed to this YouTube channel, then please do so now. And I also encourage you guys to interact with me in the comments. Let me know what you think about the content that I'm putting out. So the purpose of tonight's video is to talk about some of the new products that I'm going to be offering on my website, give you some demonstrations as to how they can be used, and to clear up some misunderstanding that came from my previous videos here. So on my latest videos about radionics, I don't feel like I made it very clear that these devices are now available on jsgarrett.com. All right. Specifically, these two boxes that I'm getting ready to show you now here tonight, as well as some other custom designs that are being built currently that are going to blow radionics out of the fucking water. It's my collaboration combined with Doc Mulder's collaboration. And these devices that we are selling on jsgarrett.com are built by Dr. Mulder himself. For those of you who don't know who he is, he has probably built more radionics boxes than any other person alive today. He's built over 6,000 machines, going on 7,000 now, I believe. And they work very well. So many of you probably just watched the video demonstration that I put out utilizing the RAD 2400 that I bought off OregonGenerator.com. And that's an experiment that is ongoing, and I intend to do a follow-up video with that box, displaying, talking about, proving whatever the results from that experiment. But what I want to talk about tonight are the boxes that we are selling on our website, jsgarrett.com. I saw a lot of questions on the YouTube channels as far as where people could get these, and like I said, I must not have done a good enough job explaining that they were available through our website. So I want to show you what these are, these first two models that are available. This first one is a war machine. All right, this one is used specifically for magical warfare, combining black magic, spells, curses, and rituals with the power of radionics. All right, and that is why there is an inverted pentagram carved upon this box. All right. Now, I know as well as every other pagan out there that the pentagram is not a symbol of evil. It is more of a protection symbol than anything, as well as a symbol of power. All right. But what we are doing here with this box is, all right, so let me explain this. Whenever a Christian sees an inverted star, an upside down pentagram, they immediately fear that and view it as something that is evil, this evil power that they are projecting into this and that radiates from that, from their projection. So by incorporating that symbol, that universal Christian symbol of evil into this war machine, what we are doing is we are hijacking the Christian's own belief system in order to utilize that for our benefit. When they look at this, they project fear into this. Fear and the unknown, all right? But mainly fear. They're afraid of this shit. So we're harnessing the power of that fear that is going into this symbol, creating a thought form. An egregor, but I call it a thought form. Some people call it egregors. They are creating a thought form that is baneful. So by incorporating this inverted pentagram into this war machine, we are tapping into all of the energy that is fed into this seal from the Christian paradigm and culture, that we can pull that fear and baneful energy from to utilize it in our operation. All right, so this thing has several different functions. You can use it just like this. And to give you an example, this does operate with electricity. All right, so you plug it in to the back. And what you would do is say, all right, so say we're going to do a baneful operation with this. All right, so we're going to take a couple of pictures. All right, we'll take the picture of our target and place it on the input, which is this copper box right here. All right. And then we will place our baneful implements, whatever it is that we are attempting to transmit and pull energy from, into the target. All right. We will pile them on top of the photo. All right. And so then using this sensor plate, we will dial in to the frequency of those implements. This is a type of dowsing. You move your finger along the sensor plate. I like to do a circular motion. Some people go back and forth with their thumb. That's fine, whatever works for you. But what we are doing is feeling for the frequency here. So after I've placed my implements on here, then I will turn the dial as I move my finger along the sensor plate, and boom, it's a stick plate. Whenever you feel your fingers stick to the plate, you know that that dial is dialed in correctly. All right, so then you will go in the shape of the pentagram. All right, so you will come to this dial. Boom, you're going to turn it from 0 to 100. Bam, there's where I want to be. Now down to this one, same thing. Move your finger across the stick plate. Boom, that's where I want to be. When your finger sticks to the plate, you're dialed into the correct frequency for your intention, and this box operates off of your intention. So after I dial into all these different frequencies, what I would do is I would take this picture and then I would dump my baneful implements, my powders, my whatever, poisonous plants, whatever it is that you put on top of this photo to sync up with the frequency. Let's say this is a picture of a person, is synced up with their frequency as well as the frequency of the baneful implements that you have put on top of it. So if I wanted to harm them, I could put some nightshade on there. I could put some gopher dust on there. I could put some baneful oils on there with those implements, whatever you want to use, depending on what type of operation you're using. So I will take and set those baneful implements on the copper plate. And then I will take my picture and place it face down on the sensor plate, which is also the in or the output plate. Whatever energy we are feeding into the input plate goes to the output plate. So I'm taking the energy from these implements and transmitting them into my target physically, utilizing their picture to tap into their physical vibration. So instead of launching a missile using a black magic ritual from across the world and trying to hit them, we are attacking them from within. It doesn't matter where they are in the universe. If we have a link to them, a photograph, a fingernail, a pinch of hair, or a drop of blood, or anything like that that they've handled or touched that has a piece of them on it, we put it on that output plate, and it transfers the energy from whatever is on this plate directly into them consistently, combined with my intention. So before I even started setting these dials, I would set my intention. How do I want to attack this motherfucker? All right, put my implements on there, on top of the photo, put my photo on there, put my implements on there, dial these in, and then dump my implements off and place it on the receiving end. And then you turn it on, and that's it. All right, but that's not all. That's not all the features that this has. We also have a totally extra plate here. This is another copper plate with a wire that plugs into this box. All right, so there are two places on this box that I can plug this in. This is a way to feed energy from an extra set of implements into either the input plate or the output plate, whichever the operation calls for. So let's say that I want to attack my target from a totally different angle. What I would do, and this goes into incorporating this into ritual magic, I'm going to plug this extra plate into the output plate. All right. Then let's say I want to do a ritual to cause my enemy pain. And this candle would be very appropriate. I would carve my target's name backwards, going down the shaft of the red portion, and then I would carve it the way it is actually spelled from left to right into down the shaft of the black portion. And I can set that candle on top of that plate. All right, I've already set my box, I've already dialed it into the frequencies, and I've already turned it on. So what I'll do now is I'll light my candle, and then focus all of my energy onto this candle. The black candle pulls energy. The red portion of the candle, red symbolizes making war, either war or lust. So you could use this in a love spell theoretically, but in this sense, we were talking about war. So what I'll do is I'll light my candle and I'll focus on the flame. I'll focus all of my energy and intention on that flame as I speak my target's name, forming a psychic connection, a psychic energetic connection between me and my target. Once I have done that, then I can begin attacking this candle through a baneful magic spell, which in this case, the example that I'm using would be to take a series of needles and heat them up over the candle flame and then stab them through the name of my target, working my way down the shaft, designed to cause them physical pain, as well as psychological and emotional pain. So it's a very nasty way to utilize radionics to target an enemy. All right. And so after I've done that, after I've placed my needles and spoke my intention and fed all of my energy into this candle, I'm going to leave the box turned on while I go about my daily life. Leaving the box turned on is the same as if I was sitting here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, stabbing this candle connected to my target. It syncs up with my intention. I'm setting this box with my intention, and it continues to broadcast my intention and the energy that I put into the operation into the ether in order to manifest my desired outcome. So this is a way to amplify and enhance any type of baneful magic ritual or act of war that you are performing against an enemy. All right, so that's just one example of how this box can be used. It's available on my website, jsgarrett.com. All right, so we'll come back to this in a little bit here. I want to talk about the other coolest thing that is available, new and available on my website, and that is the vampire box. Now, I actually have an operation running here. In this case, I have the sigil of Belial on the output plate, and I have a picture of an asshole on the input plate, which is this little slot right here. So I am energetically sacrificing my enemy unto King Belial, or Lord Belial, as I call him, because those of you who work with him know that Belial is not a demonic king. Belial is an ancient god. All right, so that's just one example of how you can feed your enemy unto a spirit as an offering. We're going to get even more elaborate with this here tonight. All right, so just like this other box, this vampire box plugs in, goes to an electrical outlet. And something else I want to mention is whenever you purchase one of these, you receive this in a box along with the plug and every other type of adapter you can think of. We have an adapter in here for every type of electrical outlet on the face of the earth. So no matter what country you're in, you can pull this out of the box, find the correct adapter, and plug it right into your outlet without having to go out and try to find a specific adapter for whatever it is that you ordered from another country. So let's get into this. Break it down as simple as I possibly can. Vampire box. This is the output plate. This little slot right here lined with copper is the input plate. All right. So whatever I put in here transmits and pulls energy from that to whatever is here. All right. So as far as the vampire box, let's say I wanted to print off a picture of an MMA fighter and siphon that energy into myself. I would take a picture of myself. I'd place it on the output, face down on top of the box. All right. Then I would take my MMA fighter, and if it's a Polaroid, then it's already saturated with their psychospiritual energy. But if I printed it out on the printer, Then what I like to do is write their name and birthday on the back, and I like to hold it in my left hand and sit there and focus on that person and speak their name 3 times. Each time I speak their name, I'm trying to psychically connect to them and pull their essence and their energy into the image of them in this holographic reality. Once I've done that, I will place their photo into the input slot. All right, I'm trying to keep this turned where you can see it. All right, so I've got my target's photo that I'm pulling energy from in the input slot. I've got my picture, something that I'm, what I'm trying to pull energy into, which is myself, on the output plate. Then all you do, boom, turn it on. The little red light comes on, and as long as this is running, it is consistently siphoning energy from my target into myself. So I will go to the zoo and I will take pictures of like a bull, like this is an African bull. I've got pictures of zebras, white tigers, alligators, all kinds of cool shit, as well as some pictures of some MMA fighters and some smoking hot supermodels, depending on what type of energy I need to siphon in order to push into my ritual workings. All right, that's just one way you can use this vampire box to amplify your own energy and power. So let's get into how we can use these 2 boxes together. I'm just going to dismantle this, turn it off, and set these pictures down. All right, so let's say I want to do an elaborate curse on a pedophile or a rapist, someone like that, because that's really the only thing that I do curses for, is cases of sex offenders, extreme abuse, pedophilia, things like that. All right, so what I would do, let's say I want to do a curse to make a rapist's dick rot off, to make it never work again, to cause them extreme pain in their groin, and to make it eventually rot, as in deteriorate and never be able to victimize anybody again. What I would do, I would take a penis candle like this. And I've got a little tiny penis candle because usually rapists and pedophiles have little tiny penises. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to be rapists and pedophiles. They could get all the pussy they ever wanted if they had a giant dong. But they don't. They have little tiny penises, and that's what we're using an effigy of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve the name of my rapist or my pedophile into the side of this penis. All right. Then I'm going to take their picture with their name and birthday, if I know their birthday, inscribed on the back. I'm going to place their picture into the input slot. I'm then going to take my penis candle and set it on top of the output slot. All right, so what I'm doing here is prepping my ritual. I'm siphoning energy from my pedophile into the effigy that is the penis candle that represents their penis, pulling their personal energy, their spiritual, metaphysical energy into this effigy so that it vibrates at their same frequency and becomes saturated with their psycho-spiritual energy. I'm going to turn that on, or I'm going to put their picture here. I'm going to set that on top of there, and I'm going to turn it on, and I'm going to let it run for 3 days. All right, I'm just going to let it sit here and siphon their energy into this penis candle over a period of 3 days at least. All right, so at the end of 3 days, this is saturated with their spiritual, their psycho-spiritual energy. So therefore, this penis is like a voodoo doll, or a voodoo dick, as I like to call it, of your target. All right, now you can turn your vampire box off and put it to the side. You've got the picture of your enemy still, and you've got the effigy that has been created that is their penis. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to break out my war machine. All right, I'm going to unplug my vampire box, and I'm going to plug in my war machine. Go ahead and turn it off. I'm going to place the picture of my pedophile right there. I'm going to place the penis candle on top of that picture. along with any other implements that I might want to use. But in this case, this is probably going to be sufficient. If anything, I would coat this penis candle as slut water, apocalypse water, or some of Connor Kendall's baneful elixir. Like, those all work excellent in an operation like this. So I've placed the picture of my target and the effigy on top of the picture, all right, and this is the input plate. Now I'm going to turn my box on, all right, and then I'm going to move my finger along the sensor plate and turn these dials until, boom, I get a stick. I feel my finger stick to the plate. That means that this dial is set correctly. So I work my way through all the dials in the shape of the pentagram. Boom, boom. They're all set perfectly now. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my picture of my pedophile or my rapist or whoever I'm targeting, and I'm going to place it onto the output plate, which is the same. It's the sensor plate. It's the stick plate. It works as the output plate. I'm going to leave my candle here on the input plate. All right. Now what I'll do is I'll light my candle. I'll speak my intention. I'll stab it with some needles after it's coated in some baneful elixir. But what if I want to give it a little extra oomph? What if I'm so emotionally invested in this that I'm willing to sacrifice my own personal energy in order to attack this motherfucker? Because what he did is that heinous and it pissed me off that bad. All right, so then I'm going to take my extra plate here. I'm going to plug it in to my output plate. And then what I can do, a very simple thing I can do, is prick my finger and put a drop of my own blood on this extra plate and just leave it there. What this does is it constantly pulls my personal energy and feeds it into this operation. So I'm attacking this pedophile from two completely separate angles that are working in conjunction together. I'm using my metaphysical energy, my spiritual energy, my physical energy, pushing it into this operation. And then over here, I'm doing a penis candle curse, which is black magic, stabbing it with needles and speaking my intention into the flame. I'm hitting them from two different angles here, and this is a prime example of how you can utilize these machines, these boxes, these weapons, these metaphysical tools in black magic experiments and workings. All right, this is just one example. There's a million different ways you can use these. And once you get a hold of one of these, you experiment and figure out how it works, then the sky is the limit. There's nothing you can't do with it. Not that I've figured out. There's nothing that you cannot custom tailor an operation utilizing these machines in order to accomplish, especially when you combine them with black magic. By itself, black magic is extremely potent. Ritual magic spells, extremely potent. They work. They're very effective. I don't know anybody that's experimented with them, that's actually done rituals in their entirety, that doesn't think that it works, because everybody that's done it knows that this shit fucking works. All right. I also don't know anybody who has experimented with radionics that thinks that it doesn't work, because it absolutely does. So by themselves, each one is effective on their own. But when you combine black magic with radionics, then you're firing a nuclear warhead at an anthill. And that is the goal here. That is my personal goal, not just to sell a bunch of these, but to personally empower each individual person with this technology, because what these boxes do is they simplify things, they amplify things, and they give every single one of you, whether you've ever studied or practiced magic or not, whether you're an adept sorcerer or you're brand new to all this metaphysical stuff and you don't really understand it, but you're interested, these boxes will turn any average Joe, average everyday person into an adept sorcerer that can accomplish action at a distance, that absolutely can put an enemy in the ground, or absolutely can heal somebody of a metaphysical or of a physical illness. Sorry, I'm getting excited and I'm tripping over my own tongue here. I'm talking too fast. But yeah, anybody can pick up these boxes and utilize them effectively, whether it's to heal someone, to harm someone, or to manifest something in their life. Now, the one other thing that I want to talk about and touch on before I go here is the healing aspect of these machines. Go back to the vampire box. I'm going to plug that in. And let's say I've got a sick friend. I've got somebody that's dying of a disease. So I'm going to take their picture. I'm going to set it on top of the output. That's where I'm pulling the energy into. And then I will take a sigil, a hand-drawn sigil of Raphael. And this is a little bit difficult to see because I've already traced over it in blood. But you can clearly see that is the sigil of Raphael. And I've pricked my finger and traced over it in blood. So I care about this person and I want to help them survive. I want to heal them of their illness. So I'm going to take this sigil and I'm going to place it into the input. All right. So what this is doing is it is pulling my own energy, my own psycho-spiritual energy through the sigil of Raphael, the divine surgeon, converting it into healing energy and then pumping it into my target or into my patient or whoever I'm trying to help. So if you have a loved one that is sick, or if you yourself are sick, then this is an exercise you can do with this simple machine to heal yourself or someone else. Now, if I personally am sick, then I'll take a picture of myself and I will put it on there. And then I will put my own blood on a sigil of healing and place it in there. What this is doing is it is recycling my own personal, physical, and spiritual energy. It is pulling energy out of me through the sigil of Raphael, which is converting it, purifying it into healing energy, and then pumping it back into myself, which is recycling my own energy, purifying my own energy, and taking my own sickly energy and converting it into overall healing energy that will eventually heal my entire body. So this is just one more way that you can utilize these two simple machines. They're extremely simple, and from what I can tell so far through my experimentation, they work just as good as the $5,000–$10,000 machines that you can get on some of these other websites. So if you would like to get your hands on one of these two boxes, then please check out jsgarrett.com, and you'll see they are much more affordable than some of the other websites that sell machines that do the exact same thing. Also, keep your eyes peeled because Doc Mulder and I are working on inventing a handful of new machines that take this whole thing to a completely different level, to a whole nother level, incorporating more and more bells and whistles, as well as generating more power and versatility in how they can be used. So I think I've said enough here. I do want to plug some of these elixirs that are also for sale on my website. These are created by my gorgeous wife, Barbie. This is Slut Water, which most of you know what that is. We've got Perfect Protections Water, which is designed to protect you from physical and spiritual harm. And we've also got Apocalypse Water, which creates great change in someone's life. And these two things, Slut Water and Apocalypse Water, can also be used in combination to attack a rapist or an enemy. And the protection water is something that you would wear on your body if you were being attacked, or if you were performing a dangerous, baneful operation like what we've been talking about, and you want to protect yourself from any of those negative energies seeping into you. So these are all available on jsgarrett.com. I really appreciate everyone who is watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and let me know what you think about the content I'm putting out in the comments. I'm J.S. Garrett. Hail the Infernal Empire. Have a good night, guys.